All right, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I want to give all the praise, all the honor, and the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakakwadash. And of course, as always, double honors to our apostles and our elders that rule well at Great Millstone. Salutations to all you sincere Akim that are preaching this word in all truth and sincerity. All right, so I had seen an article, and I had shown the brother, in the camp, and it just further exposes how wicked this devil is. All right, Esau, the so-called white man. Okay, and we call him the fucking devil because that's exactly what he is. All right, he's everything contrary to what's good, what's righteous, what's holy. Okay. And he is the so-called white man. There's nothing white about this fucking devil, man. All right, there is nothing white about you Edomites, man. And the name Edom, Esau, okay, goes back to the color red. All right. You call yourselves, white. Okay, because that's in reference to righteousness, holiness, and to good. And you call us minorities, you call us black. Okay. Because for one, we are the majority. All right. And for two, ain't nobody on the earth, the so-called color black. All right. We're all different shades of brown and different shades of red. Okay. Esau is a Hebrew word, Isashua, which means wasted away is he. What was wasted away was your pigmentation. Therefore, you're translucent. Okay, you're not white. You're actually, a form of transparent. All right, transparency. Your blood shows forth through your flesh. Okay, you're really red. So this is Baruch chapter 3. And verse 8, and it reads, "Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity." So us Hebrew Israelites, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, okay, even unto this day, all right, October 17th, 2025, okay, we are still in captivity. We are still in slavery. We are not sovereign. Okay, we're still subject to payments. Okay, you don't own anything. All right. We are in want, desperation of all things. Okay, we are yet this day in captivity under the so-called white man, who is Esau, Edom. It says, "Where thou hast scattered us." So wherever you Israelites are on the planet Earth, not just here in Babylon the Great, which is America, but scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, you are still in captivity. You're still in slavery. Just because you go to work and you get a check, okay, does not mean you are not in captivity, man. Because when you earn these wages, you earn wages to put them in a bag with holes. Before you cash your check, you're already being taxed. Okay, you got bills. You're barely making it. Okay, the word job when I was young was an acronym, JOB, for just over broke. All right, my cousins, we used to always say that. Just over broke is a job. All right, because you barely make it. You have enough, to get you some food. Okay, barely make it to where you're not evicted. Your phone bill doesn't shut off. You barely got enough gas to make it to work. Now, this does not apply to every brother, every sister. Okay, you got to apply wisdom. You got to be responsible with the money you make. But us as a whole, we're catching hell here. All right, and we are just over broke. Okay, every time you go buy something, food wise, medicine wise, you're being taxed. Okay. And something I wanted to show y'all, all right, to prove the fact that we are yet this day in our captivity. All right, this is what I had just seen, yesterday or the day before. Yeah, yesterday. And I had showed the brother. It says, woman faces 10 years in prison after selling baked goods bought with food stamps. You see? She's facing up to 10 years in prison, all right, for using the benefits that were given unto her, okay, to purchase goods, to purchase products, all right, that she resells, Now, of course, when you go and you go and apply for assistance with this devil, okay, you go and get anything from this devil, there's stipulations. Okay, there's laws and conductivity that you have to read into. You have to understand, all right, what you're getting involved in, when you accept this fucking devil's handouts, man. Okay. Now, who was to say, who was to know that if you purchase without reading, of course, you purchase goods, then you go to resell food dishes and things that you're making, that this would happen. All right. So it says, explain. A 34-year-old woman from Ohio is facing up to 10 years in prison after selling homemade baked goods that were allegedly purchased with food stamps. According to prosecutors, she used SNAP benefits to buy ingredients, then resold the finished items for profit, a violation of federal law that prohibits selling or exchanging goods made with government assistance. But you got to read, man. You got to read the black and white, Now, ultimately, if she does do jail time, prison time, or get fined, hey, that's the Lord, bringing that judgment upon her. But as the scriptures say, he that toucheth you, toucheth the apple of his eye. So this fucking devil, man, he's a hypocrite. He's wicked for this, man. Because he knows damn well, all right, that we, are desperate, all right, in desperate need of financial, rescuing, man. All right, especially with the job cuts and how it's hard to find full-time work here in Babylon. Most of the jobs I've seen are part-time because a lot of these companies, they don't want to pay, they don't want to pay your, benefits, man. So if they keep you under full-time, they don't got to give you benefits. They don't have to give you health insurance and dental insurance and vision and medical, as long as they keep you, as a part-time employee. So Jake has to hustle. Jake got to do things. And what's messed up is that we're not in the 90s, early 2000s anymore. All right, there's certain items, certain products that are written on the box, on the labeling, not for resale. Okay, so Esau's punk ass can come and, penalize you, which is messed up, but it just proves that we are still in captivity, man. All right, these nations are still oppressing us. So it says, where thou hast scattered us. So you Israelites, no matter where you are, in Mexico, they're just passing digital biometrics and digital wallets. They're going digital out there in Mexico now. And it's not just Mexico. It's going to be throughout the four corners of the earth, all countries. Okay. So you can't say, Mexicans, they're not in captivity. They own and run Mexico. They have their own country. No, the F they don't. Okay, Esau governs and controls the whole world. Job 9:24 says the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. All right. It says for a reproach and a curse and to be subject to payments. You see, we're a reproach, we're under curses, and we're subject to payments. Okay. We got to pay taxes. We got to, we can't just go out and build a city without repercussions of this fucking devil intervening, poking his red fucking nose in our business. Okay. It says, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, our God. And the trick is, all right, not necessarily a trick, but the secret is that you are your father's coming back. All right. So we are paying for our iniquities, the sins that we committed in our past lives. Now, the water Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, all right, that Yahweh Shai went up on that cross and was a sacrifice for us. But we are still paying, okay, for these iniquities, for these sins. And what proves that is we are in this flesh catching hell, going through things. But if the mercy, the blood covers you, all right, you won't have to taste of that second death. Okay, that is the earnest, the down payment. Okay, that you can receive mercy and salvation and the Holy Ghost. Okay. So yeah, it sucks, the condition of the battle. But remember that this is a battle. And the only thing that can save us is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And this devil Esau, the so-called white man, is going to pay for all his wickedness, man. Okay, it's not just this, but there's actually Jakes out there that are so-called innocent and get penalized, man. There's a lot of videos of Jake, especially Judah, that'll get released after doing like 30, 40 years in prison, and they just found out that this man never committed those crimes. Then they go and they give you sometimes they don't give you no money. They don't reimburse you, give you any, restitution. But even if they do, that's not going to buy, that quality time that Jake could have spent with his family. A man did 30, 40 years in prison. His parents passed away, his siblings, all right, and just got to live a life of loneliness, man, suffering. No amount of money can pay for that, man. Especially you're up in age where you can't even enjoy the money they give you, So yeah, we are yet this day in our captivity, and these scriptures prove it, man, that we're still catching hell, that you are not, all right, not in the kingdom. Okay, that this is not, a beautiful world for you Israelites, man. Okay, and for any of you naysayers out there that think that, we all got a chance, no, that's bullshit, man. All right, we're all catching hell. You Israelites especially. All nations are catching hell under this devil. Even other Edomites, are catching hell under the so-called white man. All right. So Adawan Ratazah, this was exhorting and edifying. All right, and further, proof. Okay, that this fucking devil, man. All right, is the devil. Okay. According to the Bible. So with that, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Arakakudash. And of course, as always, double honors to our apostles and our elders that rule well at Green Millstone. Shalom.